Hey there, Pathless Peddlers. Today we've got a special bike review just for you guys. Today we're going to look at the REN Cycles Waypoint. And guess what? It's made out of titanium. So if you're not familiar with REN Cycles, it's actually the production brand of Cycles. So Cycles has been around for over 20 years. It was started by David Levy and branched out with a production line about 3 years ago called REN Cycles. A couple unique things about this build is they actually have a custom carbon fork and a custom tie rando rack. So super sweet. And because it was designed in the Pacific Northwest, it comes fender friendly. This particular build has TRP hydraulic disc brakes, which are pretty sweet, and it's set up 1x for the drivetrain. To smooth out the ride even further, it's built out with a carbon seat post and carbon handlebars. So pretty sweet build on this review bike. And lastly, the bike is shod with the new Terrain Elwood tires that are 700 by 40. Enough tech talk, let's go out to Forest Park and take it for a spin. Couple stats about this bike. It's a size 52, so a little bit on the smaller side. It's designed with a really long and low geometry. A long wheelbase, long chain stays, and a very low bottom bracket. It makes for a really stable ride, as evidenced by the fact I'm riding one-handed through some chunky stuff. It takes very little input to keep the bike steady. You kind of just want to move in a kind of a straight line or wherever you point it. Steering is definitely not on the twitchy racy side, but kind of on the almost touring like. It just wants to steamroll over obstacles. It doesn't get deflected easily when it hits a bump. And what's cool, since the frame material is titanium and you got a carbon fork up there, as it moves over the bump, the frame materials kind of cushion the ride. So you get this super stable riding bike over rough terrain that's also pretty comfortable. So let's talk about how this bike climbs. I feel like the lightweight components and the light frame definitely add to the climbing ability of the bike. There is one thing, I think that the longer wheelbase, longer chainstays do take a little bit of the snap out of like a standing climb. So if you like to climb out of the saddle, it's not that it won't do it, it just won't be as responsive as a shorter wheelbase, shorter chainstay bike. But if you're doing a lot of endurance riding where getting KOM isn't your top priority, then that might be a non-factor. Right, so far I've taken the REN Cycles Waypoint uphill and on rolling terrain. Now it's time to see what it can do going downhill.
Let's begin.
So just wrapped up our ride here, and let me tell you that going downhill is where all the qualities of this bike really shine. That long and low geometry, the suppleness of the titanium, it just really soaks up all the bumps and gives you tons of confidence bombing downhill. I can definitely see that this bike would be awesome for gravel endurance events or even road events where you want a bike that's gonna handle predictably, no surprises, and kind of just soak up all the road vibration. I'm pretty impressed with how the bike handles. Definitely not a race bike though, so if you want something super snappy, really twitchy, then this bike isn't for you. If you're looking for a more predictable bike for the long haul, then this is definitely a bike to consider. I'm gonna take it out for a couple more rides and maybe do another final ride review video if there's any huge changes. But so far I'm digging this bike. I want to thank the folks at REN Cycles for letting me get it dirty. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for the follow-up video, and thanks for watching.